हाय अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन, कैसे हैं आप लोग और कैसे डील कर रहे हैं इस क्वारंटीन टाइम से। कुछ लोग तो एक्चुअली फेड अप हो गए हैं और कुछ लोग हैं जो कि शायद इम्यून हो गए हैं इस क्वारंटीन टाइम के। बट आप लोग ज्यादा फेड अप ना हो, इसी वजह से हम कोशिशें कर रहे हैं कि किसी ना किसी तरह आपको घर पे बैठे हुए एंटरटेनमेंट दे सके, घर पे बैठे हुए इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड कर सके। और इसी वजह से क्रिक कास्ट एक नया शो जो कि मैंने स्टार्ट किया है, और इस शो में हम क्वारंटीन कैसे गुजार रहे हैं लोग वो तो बात करेंगे, मगर ऐसे लोगों से बात करेंगे जो कि क्रिकेट से रिलेटेड है, जिनसे आपको पता चले कि व्हाट्स हैपनिंग या व्हाट हैपेंड, कोई ना कोई खबर आपको मिले, कोई ना कुछ ना कुछ आपको पता चले कि क्या हुआ था या क्या हो रहा है। सो दिस इज अ न्यू शो दैट आई एम स्टार्टिंग जस्ट फॉर यू ऑल, क्रिक कास्ट। और the guest that I have today with me had a really special role in Pakistan cricket. And this fitness conscious Pakistan cricket team that you see today has been developed under him. Yes, I'm talking about the former head coach of Pakistan cricket and the current coach of Team Sri Lanka. So today the guest that I have with me has played a very important part in Pakistan cricket. And this fitness conscious Pakistan cricket team that you see today is because of him. He has developed that. The former head coach of Pakistan cricket and the current head coach of Sri Lankan cricket, Mickey Arthur. Hi Mickey, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Sawera. How's Pakistan?
Pakistan is fine. Pakistan is missing you, Mickey. Are you missing Pakistan?
I always miss Pakistan. I love Pakistan. I had some great memories there. It's been really good. And at the moment, I'm holed up in a hotel in Colombo, so it's been hard going for a while.
So how is this quarantine life treating you? Are you busy doing work, or are you just tired and fed up? What place are you at the curve now?
At the moment, I'm tired and fed up. I've had a pretty busy 2 weeks, because I've only been in this job 3 months. So the 2 weeks have been pretty busy. Doing a lot of communication with our players, sort of analysing them, I guess, getting a lot of video footage of them, having a look at when they played their best innings, when they played their not so good innings, and just trying to get a better handle on all the players, I guess.
Do you think it's basically blessing in disguise that you've got a lot of time to analyze everything?
Sure. Look, it is. I suppose that's the only silver lining we can find to it, because we had a series against England, which didn't take place. It's been postponed till January. We've got South Africa supposed to be coming in June. We've got India in July. We've got Bangladesh in August. We've got Asia Cup, and then World 2020. So there was a lot of cricket coming up that we were all really looking forward to. So it's just disappointing that we sort of got some momentum, and then it's sort of all gone away now, you know.
The world is at halt right now. But Mickey, let's rewind a bit and let's go to 2019. As per my knowledge, you wanted to extend your contract with Team Pakistan, and you were pretty keen to stay here. What were your plans with Team Pakistan, and then what went wrong? Why couldn't you continue?
Look, I loved coaching Pakistan. I really did. I had 3 wonderful years, and in some ways I was very blessed to have 3 years. You know, a foreign coach in Pakistan doesn't last that long normally. So I was quite lucky with that. And I sort of thought that the team, everything that we had tried was sort of coming to fruition. We'd brought a lot of young players into the setup, young players that I still watch very closely, watch their careers progressing. And I wanted to kind of finish that project with them. And I guess for me, the culmination date with all that would have been at the 2020 World Cup coming up, because we had put such a huge effort. When I started with Sawera, we were at number 9 in 2020 cricket, and we got ourselves to number 1. We won 11 straight series, I think, and I would have liked to have sort of seen that project through, but such is life. And the one thing that still disappoints me to it was yes, we wanted to win the Cricket World Cup in 2019. Of course we did. It's as like another 9 countries wanted to as well. But I felt we didn't have an horrendous World Cup, a lot of people have said we had a horrendous World Cup. If people remember, we finished tied fourth. We beat both England and New Zealand that played in the final. And I felt that the second half of our World Cup campaign was really good. I felt we were the form team at the back end of that World Cup. So it was disappointing not to get a semi-final out of that. And we paid the price for two poor games. The West Indies game right at the start was a shocker for us. And that meant that we could never qualify on run rate because we had just lost that so badly. And then the Indian game was one that still rankles. And when Pakistan lose to India, then you're under the pump all the time. So yeah, it was disappointing. But that World Cup wasn't as poor as everybody made it out to be. And also, you know, with that, I would have loved then just that the momentum we finished with, to have taken that to the 2020 World Cup. Because I do think at the 2020 World Cup, that was when the time was right for another voice to come in.
With the World Cup 2019, I just think, Mickey, we just started off late. We just picked up late. And in the second phase, as you said, Pakistan team was doing pretty well. But in the early stages of World Cup 2019, we did not do that well that we could just cushion it up with the performance, the further performance. But what do you think, if I talk about Pakistan team right now, do you think the way you saw Pakistan team under you at this point of time, is it on the right track? Is it where you wanted to see team Pakistan, or is it a bit less, or is it more, is it better?
No, look, I think Misbah obviously came in with his ideas, and he's a great cricket brain. You know, Misbah eats, sleeps, and drinks cricket, and he's very passionate about Pakistan cricket as well. And I think he'll do a wonderful job. And I think Misbah came in with his own ideas, and obviously wanted to see a couple of other players. And I think the formula that we see Misbah go back to will almost be the formula that we sort of had in place. I think it'll settle down, bar maybe one or two players, but I think it'll settle down to those players taking Pakistan cricket forward, because the players that we had certainly worked through, and the players that we had within our test team and our one-day team, and that was the one thing I really wanted to work on, was the test cricket as well. But those young players were maturing. And those young players are the best young talents in Pakistan. And we've just got to give them time. And that's the one thing with Pakistan, is sometimes players just aren't given the time. You know, it's kind of everybody just wants instant success. And one of the attractions with Pakistan, and something I loved and hated, was you were either king or you were right at the bottom. There was nothing in between. You know, it was such an emotionally charged cricket public, you know, that you win, you're the best, you lose, and you're the worst, you know. But I think those young players will come in, and those young players are no doubt the best players in Pakistan. And the cream always comes to the top. Those young players will take Pakistan cricket forward.
Exactly, I hope so. Inshallah, they do so. But as you speak about Misbah, and you were the one who always ranked Misbah as the best cricketing brain in Pakistan cricket. So talking about Misbah being the head coach now and the chief selector, how do you see these dual roles?
Yeah, look, I don't see that as a major issue, to be honest. You know, I was very lucky. I worked with Inzimam, and Inzimam and the panel that he had, and myself, we had a really great working relationship. That was one of the best head selector coach relationships that I've always had. And I was working a lot with Misbah. With Inzi. I mean, Inzi took decisions but he would always consult with me. He was very open to consultation with the captain. So you know, I don't see that as a massive.
Was Inzimam open to your suggestions? Because there was a bit of friction, no?
No, not a massive amount, to be honest, Sawera. Inzi was always very open to our suggestions as captain and coach, and that was one thing that I really appreciated during my time with him. There was Inzi and myself and the selection panel had a really good working relationship. It worked really well. But I think Misbah will have his own ideas and he'll implement them. So I don't see head coach and head selector, as too much of an issue. I think Misbah, with his knowledge of the domestic game, is able to do those two roles. I've got no doubt.
No, but do you think that players would be that comfortable with Misbah being the head coach and then the chief selector? Because a player should be comfortable with the head coach. They should be open to the head coach, telling them what they're, where do they lack things and what are they lacking at. And it would be tough to tell these things to a chief selector, don't you think so?
Yeah, I do, and that is the one negative, I guess, with doing both roles. But I still say, if you've got a good relationship with your players, players can't pull the wool over your eyes. You know when they're not playing well. You know when they're out of nick. And if you've got that good relationship, the players are going to talk to you anyway. And in some ways, it's almost better, because it's not like a broken record scenario where the player would talk to the head coach, because the information that I got from players, and yes, some of it was confidential and stayed confidential, but when it came into the mix in terms of selection, I would always discuss that, maybe not with the whole selection panel, but I would always have that discussion with Inzi, because I think that's really important, that your trust with the head selector was really good as well. So I think that played a massive role. So I'm comfortable that Misbah can do both roles because of his general knowledge with Pakistan cricket.
Okay, talking about the relationship with players, there was some friction between you and Umar Akmal. Umar Akmal wasn't, in a longer term, if I see from Waqar Yunus being the coach, Umar Akmal wasn't handled properly in all his time, or is it very hard to handle him?
I continually hear about people saying Umar Akmal, and this isn't an Umar Akmal thing. So I don't want this to become a massive sensationalized story. But it's the players' responsibility to take charge of their careers. As coaches, you're only there to facilitate their careers. You're there for a short period of time of their careers to make them the best they can possibly be. Ultimately, the player is in charge of his destiny. Ultimately, when the player walks out onto the ground, when the player chooses to make decisions, that's up to him. That's up to him. The coach can't hold his hand in any of those decisions. And I just think he's just a serial offender. It's every coach hasn't been able to work with Umar Akmal. Every coach has said, Umar's quote is, I can't handle, nobody handles me. Well, it's his responsibility to handle his own career. But if he keeps on doing things that get him into trouble and underperforms and underachieves, then he has to look himself in the mirror at night and say, have I given myself every opportunity of success? And I think the answer to that is probably no.
Probably, because true, a player should be at this level, a player should be this mature to assess himself first. But Mickey, there was a blame given to you that you have been doing favoritism to players, and you have been giving consistent chances. But as I see it, giving consistent chances to the players who played under you or who started playing under you, we have found a world-class player like Babar Azam. How would you say that? What would you say about that? Those consistent chances, and then you were blamed for favoritism, like the way Mohammad Hafiz said that.
Yeah, look, and I was really surprised Mohammad Hafiz said that. That really surprised me, because well, let me take it a step back. When I came into Pakistan cricket, all I heard from the players around the time when I had my one-on-ones with them was they never knew where they fitted in. They were given one chance and then they were left out of the team, and it wasn't a good environment, because they only then started playing for themselves because they wanted to maintain their position in the team. So they forgot about team because they were just worried about themselves, which is a terrible place for any cricket team to be. Part of my coaching philosophy is identifying players and then giving them an optimum chance to perform to their best of their ability. Now, within that criteria is a lot of things. Obviously, talent plays a massive role. Work ethic plays a massive role. Character of the player plays a massive role. And then his ability and his fitness, coupled with all these other things, go into determining, is this a player we can carry forward, or is this a player we're not going to carry forward? So what happens was it took me about a year to identify players I thought that we could carry on and take forward in Pakistan cricket. And once those players have been identified, it is then up to me to provide them enough opportunity to fulfill their potential. Because when we've put a year into a player, you've put a year of coaching and working and mentoring and everything, it's pointless then, once you've put that year into him, just giving him opportunity and then after 2 or 3 chances saying, oh, no, sorry, and then we'll go into somebody else, because you've wasted a whole year of actual coaching. So the key for me was identifying the players that could take Pakistan cricket forward and then giving them ample opportunity to make a mark for themselves within the team. Now, then it's up to them. We'll give them ample opportunity, but then they've got to solidify their position. I hate people talking about favoritism. Yes, I'm a personal guy. I'm a personal coach, I think, that I like building relationships with players. I don't favor anybody, and I never, ever have favored anybody. But I am partial to guys that I know can win games for my team, that at that point was Pakistan, and guys that show the desired work ethic and have the ambition to become match winners. Those are the people that are kind of then are said that I favor. It's a very, very fine line. So in terms of favoritism, I've never favored anybody. I've favored people who can go out and win games of cricket at that point in time for Pakistan, and people I believed in, that I felt had a future and could make and give Pakistan sustainable success over a long period of time. That was my goal. And I think you look at what myself, I think what if you look at what myself and the team, my coaching team have left, is a legacy of some good young players that are going to take Pakistan cricket for years to come, if given the same opportunities.
So in a nutshell, you just wanted to invest on the players whom you saw sparking, whom you saw that can actually be polished enough to just serve Pakistan in a longer run, right?
100%. Those were guys that I had identified that I felt could give Pakistan cricket sustainable success over a period of time.
So since you've seen Babar Azam like growing inch by inch, do you think he is in that league of Virat Kohli? Because people, they get furious when you compare Babar Azam with Virat Kohli, but you have seen him growing inch by inch. What would you say about that?
I just get overjoyed every time I watch Babar Azam bat. I remember, and people I will say, yeah, he's my love child. I don't care. Babar Azam is a wonderful, wonderful player. He is going to be very, very special. I'll never forget the first time he wasn't on the tour. When I arrived, and I'd just been appointed Pakistan coach. When I arrived, I was about 3 days before we went on the first tour to England. And I'll never forget walking into the indoor centre just before that we left. And Grant Flower said to me, Mickey, you've got to come and have a look at this one young player. So I went in there, and Grant was feeding balls to Babar Azam. And I looked at him. He was a very young Babar Azam. And I thought, wow. This guy is special. And I couldn't believe he wasn't on that tour. So very much after that, he went with the A team, I think it was at that point in time, and then joined us for the one-day series later on. And I looked at him, and I remember sitting with Babar and saying, when I'm coach, you are going to play bar some disaster. you are going to play every game of cricket for Pakistan while I'm coach, because I think you're that good. And I'll never forget the media giving me so much flack on Babar Azam, because there was never a doubt around his white ball ability. But when I saw him play, people were talking about who's going to replace Yunus Khan, who's going to replace Misbah in our test team. Babar Azam is a 10,000 run test cricketer, without a doubt. But Babar Azam needed to come in and be given an extended period in the test team to find his way. I'll never forget Jacques Kallis. Jacques Kallis, who was one of the best players I've had the privilege of working with. Jacques Kallis, after his first 10 test matches, was averaging 9. He averaged 9 in his first 10 test matches. But the coach at that time had seen so much talent in Jacques Kallis that he played every game. And we saw Jacques Kallis ended up averaging 56 in his test career, and a lot more in one day and 2020 cricket. Babar Azam had that ability. We just had to give him those opportunities. And if people had said, and I remember everybody said, it's favourite, Babar's playing, he's playing every test. Mickey's favouring Babar Azam. Yes, I was favouring Babar Azam, but I was favouring him because I could see the potential, and I knew what he would give Pakistan cricket in the long run. He's a genius. He is a wonderful, wonderful player.
Honestly, it's a treat to watch him play. The way he plays, you enjoy watching how he bats, right?
Oh wow, definitely, he's amazing. I get so much joy. I don't miss. If Babar Azam's batting, I know, and I'm in any country of the world. I remember just after I finished with Pakistan, I went back to Australia. Pakistan had the series with was it Bangladesh? I think no, Sri Lanka, the 2020s, I think. But I remember staying up. It was late in Australia, but I'd stay up because I wanted to watch Babar Azam bat, because he's pure class.
He is, no doubt. Okay, now talking about Mohammad Amir and Wahab Riaz, do you actually think that they have ditched the nation by not playing Test anymore at that crucial moment?
No, I don't. I don't, Sawera, because I was part of that whole conversation with Mohammad Amir. Now, people will say Mohammad Amir, another one of my favorites. I loved Mohammad Amir because of his ability to bowl and his ability to win games, and I think he's a wonderful person. I was aware of Mohammad Amir's thoughts all the way through. Yes, he did. Yes, he was skeptical about playing Test cricket. I played him in every test I possibly could, and that was selfish for me as a coach, because I pushed him through a lot, and his body just couldn't take it. I could see how he just got tired, and people would moan because his pace was down. It wasn't so much about that, Sawera. He just couldn't handle it anymore, and for him to prolong his white ball career, and Pakistan have got a phenomenal white ball bowler there, a phenomenal white ball bowler, a potential match winner, who potentially could win Pakistan the 2020 World Cup if they picked him. He's that good, but he'll be that good and have an extended white ball career because he's not playing Test cricket. I would have loved him to continue playing Test cricket, because I think world cricket's poorer for not having Mohammad Amir playing Test cricket. But I understood, and I was kept in the loop all the way through his decision making. And it was something that he had been thinking for a long while. And to be honest, if him and I didn't have such a good relationship, this was something that he would have done certainly a year earlier. He played Test cricket because I wanted him to play Test cricket. And I think we just saw him sort of maybe lose that hunger a little bit for Test cricket, but it was certainly because his body just couldn't handle it anymore. Wahab was I think Wahab, where he is in his career, is probably got to the same point as Amir has. And I think Wahab, for prolonging his 2020 and white ball career, probably needed to give Test cricket up as well.
So now, do you think the decision that the team management has taken, that they're not selecting Amir, maybe because he hasn't been a part of Test, or he left Test at that moment, it's a bizarre decision?
But look. I think they would look back at that decision. I can't see Pakistan not going to a 2020 World Cup without Mohammad Amir, because if you don't take Mohammad Amir to a 2020 World Cup, you're losing a potential match winner. So I'd be very surprised if they didn't pick him again.
Okay, that was great, Mickey. Mickey, any message that you want to give to Misbah? And one more thing, are there any hard feelings between you and Misbah now? Because the way things ended up, he was in the cricket committee, which was deciding whether you should continue or not. Even Wasim Akram was there, and these were the two people you have always supported.
Yeah, no. Look, there's absolutely no hard feelings. I always respected Misbah, and I respect Misbah greatly. I'd like to think Misbah and I are still very good friends. We went through a lot together as captain coach right at the start, and I've always had great admiration and great respect for Misbah. I think Misbah's finding out that the head coaching role is quite a tough one. It's not easy. But I think he's going to grow and grow into that position. But I know Misbah's a good man. He's a very good man, Misbah, and I know where his heart is, and he's got his heart in the right place. So any coach with his heart in the right place is a coach I want to see have success. So I hope he goes from strength to strength. Play those young players that we had identified. That's the future of Pakistan cricket.
So is this your message to Misbah? Because you have been with this team for past 3 years.
Oh yeah, like I mean, those young players are they special. I look back, people will talk about Fakhar Zaman. Fakhar Zaman's a match winner. He is a match winner. Fakhar Zaman needs to be given every bit of confidence to go out and perform. I loved seeing Abid Ali come through. I think Haris Sohail's a wonderful cricketer in two forms of the game. Babar Azam, we know. Imam Al-Haq is a really, really good player. I think the match winner is Shadab Khan. I think Shadab is wonderful. Fahim Ashraf has that ability to bat and bowl. The thing that I liked with Shadab and Fahim was they gave you so much more balance in your test team. You could play them together in your test team and end up playing 5 bowlers, which I think is the way to go. Shaheen Shah Afridi, incredible. These are the young players that are, they need every opportunity, because I know for a fact they're good enough.
So you spoke about, you just mentioned Shadab Khan. Shadab, in this recent PSL, did you get time to watch this recent PSL? Because Shadab has been developing himself as a batsman. He has always idealized Steve Smith, and he is acting like one now.
Yeah, Shadab could always bat. And that's why I would always have played Shadab, because in Test cricket, Shadab can bat 7 for you. He's good enough to bat 7. He's good enough to bat 7 in one day cricket, and he gives you that. I mean, he's got that match-winning ability with the ball, and he's a gun fielder. It wasn't on TV here, and we were playing a lot of our series against. We had a series with the West Indies going on at that time, and we were in India for a period as well. So I didn't get to see it, but I'd lie if I said I didn't get home at night and switch on the YouTube highlights and just keep check on all those on all the young players. Shadab Khan, I think, is a wonderful leader as well. I always earmarked Shadab Khan as a potential captain of Pakistan one day. So let's not rule that out of the equation either.
Very true. I can even see him as captaining the side later on. Thanks a lot, Mickey. It was wonderful. Just few quick questions, because I can see your love for Pakistan, and I know I've seen that personally. Any Urdu word that you have learned during this tenure?
Lots of Urdu words. Some of them I can't say on the show.
Any that one word that you can share with us on the show?
There was one word that I used every day at training. I needed pani. I needed tanda pani. I needed cold water all the time. I did learn a lot of Urdu. Surprisingly, I could understand the gist of any conversation. So if I'm in a conversation and there's Urdu being spoken, I won't know exactly what they're saying, but I will know what the gist of the conversation is about. So I learned Urdu fairly well.
So thanda pani it is. Your favorite Pakistani dish?
Favorite Pakistan. I'll tell you, the spices in that were nice. I'm not a genuine spice man, but I did like a good sort of chicken curry. It was really nice.
Sorry. Your favorite city in Pakistan?
Favorite city in Pakistan, I'd have to say Lahore.
Lahore.
Just because I stayed in Lahore, and I got to go out in Lahore. I met some wonderful people in Lahore. I got to know some people there. I went to a lot of the restaurants. So I got to know Lahore as a city. I really liked Lahore.
Your favorite player of Pakistan?
My favorite player?
Just name one.
Babar Azam.
Babar Azam?
Yep, Babar Azam.
That is. Thanks a lot, Mickey. It was wonderful connecting back to you. It's been so long we didn't get time to talk to each other. It's been wonderful. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
No, thank you, Sawera. I really enjoyed it. And Pakistan Zindabad.
Pakistan Zindabad. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Mickey. Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Bye. Bye.